let's have a conversation about your relationship with the scale, because I know this is something that so many of you are wrestling with. You're having a hard time with it, and you would love to be able to be free from the turmoil that happens when you get on the scale and when you see your weight. So this is going to be kind of interactive. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I literally want you to pause the video and write down your answer to them, either on a piece of paper or in your phone. Question number 1 is, when you see your weight, when you see that number on the scale, what are the thoughts that instantly go through your head? What are the thoughts that you have about yourself? What are the stories that you tell yourself? What are the feelings that you have? Question number 2 is, how do those thoughts then impact you the rest of the day? When you get on the scale, when you have whatever your reaction is about seeing that number, then how is that impacting the way you feel about yourself the rest of the day, the way that you get dressed, the way that you choose to eat? Because here's the problem. That chunk of metal is controlling your self-esteem, and then it's driving all of these behaviors on the back end of it, whether you're, not letting yourself have the sandwich that you wanted for lunch, or you're making yourself work out harder that day because you don't like the number that you see on the scale, or even just the way you're carrying yourself if you feel kind of ashamed and defeated, versus if you were having a day where you're like, yeah, I feel good about myself. I feel confident. You literally are interacting with the world differently, and it's because of this stupid number on the scale. At the end of the day, all that chunk of metal is doing is measuring your gravitational pull. It is really not that exciting. It's not telling us how your actual internal organs are functioning in terms of your health, and it's certainly not telling us anything about your character or your worthiness. Yet we are taught to treat it as if it is, as if it's the end-all be-all for our health and our worthiness and our self-esteem and everything that we should think and do when it comes to our bodies and to food. When the scale has this much power over you, it makes it very difficult for you to truly master intuitive eating, because you're constantly being triggered by what you were seeing on the scale. We need to put you back in a place of being empowered, whether that means taking a break entirely from the scale, or whether it means doing some mental work around what that meaning the number has to you and neutralizing the meaning of that number. That looks different for every single person, but we need to put you back in power instead of giving that chunk of metal the power over you. This is a big chunk of the work that we do inside Non-Dieters Club. In fact, one of my clients said to me the other day that as she was listening to me talk about this, that she realized how far she's come with the scale, that she used to give it all of that power and she doesn't anymore. She had seen her weight recently and she just kind of shrugged. She was like, it's not what I would have wanted it to be, but like, oh well, and she moved on with her life. In the past, it would have sent her into this total shame spiral where the rest of the day she was micromanaging her food, she was eating more restrictively, she was trying to figure out how she was going to lose weight, and this time it was just like, oh well, moving on. That is where I want you to get to, because that is going to give you the freedom to actually listen to your body, to take care of your body, and to allow yourself to do health promoting behaviors instead of constantly reacting to what you're seeing on the scale.